Hello everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to install Assetto Corsa on Linux with Content Manager, Custom Shaders Patch and more. I'm also going to show you how to install mods and play online. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to need ProtonGE. Now there is two ways we can obtain it. First is by going to their GitHub page and manually downloading the latest release and following the instructions to install it. Or we can use the graphical interface called ProtonUp and install it like that. Now there is two ways of installing ProtonUp. We can go to their website and download the app image, or we can go to FlatHub and download their Flatpak. It's up to you really. Then you're gonna need Steam and you need Assetto Corsa installed. If you have everything I mentioned, we can start. First of all, we're going to make the game launch using ProtonGE. After you do that, launch the game. Now this process can take a while, so go get yourself a cup of coffee or your favorite drink and wait for it to finish. Once everything is done, your game should turn on and show you this screen. For now we're going to close it and we're going to replace this launcher with Content Manager. We're going to open up this website and everything I open will be linked down in the description so you don't have to search for it. Now, let's download Content Manager. Once your Content Manager finishes downloading, we're going to extract it and place the launcher inside the Assetto Corsa folder. Once you place Content Manager inside the game folder, we're going to replace it with our default launcher. So in order to do this, we're going to rename original launcher to something else. And now we're going to open terminal inside of this folder and we're going to make a link. So we're going to type ln and then we're going to type Content Manager. And as you can see, it picks it up, and then we're gonna type assettocorsa.exe because that's what we want to link it to. Now your game is going to start up using Content Manager instead of the default launcher because we made a soft link and Steam is going to think it's launching normal Assetto Corsa, while in reality it's going to open our Content Manager, so it's way easier than putting some commands. Now we're going to make another link from our Steam folder. This is going to be used by Content Manager to detect our Steam user. First, we're going to open Assetto Corsa Proton prefix. It's usually located very close to the game folder. Your game is going to be in common folder, while prefixes are going to be in the compat data folder. So we're gonna go into compat data. This is the ID of Assetto Corsa's prefix. We're gonna open it and we need to locate program files 86 and then go inside Steam folder and open up the config folder. Now, once we're in here, we're going to open another file manager window, but this time we're gonna go into Steam installation. So I have natively installed Steam, so I'm gonna type .steam. Once I'm in here, I'm going to go to root folder and then config folder. Now you're going to see loginusers.vdf file. This is what we need. We're going to make a soft link by dragging this file into Proton prefix folder, and then we can just click link. You can also use the ln command I showed with Content Manager. It's up to you. In my case, if I wanted to use the ln command, this is how it would look like. After we're done with login users file, there is one more thing we need to do before we can start enjoying Assetto Corsa. In order to set up custom shaders patch, we need a tool called Protontricks. You can get it either through your package manager or FlatHub. It's up to you. Once you get Protontricks installed, we need to enter into Wine configuration from Assetto Corsa. If you have Protontricks installed through your package manager, you can use terminal for this. After we open Wine config for Assetto Corsa, we need to go into libraries and add DevWrite. After you're done with that, we can download custom shaders patch. I personally like to use custom shader patch version 2, but you can download latest recommended also. Alright, we did all the necessary steps in order to run Assetto Corsa on Linux. So we have two choices of running the game. We can either run it directly from the Steam, or we can use the shortcut that was created by Steam. So I'm gonna run it from the shortcut. Now let the game load up. And as you can see, Assetto Corsa Content Manager opened up. Now it's going to ask you for Assetto Corsa installation folder. And if you remember, mine is on a hard drive. So this is where my Assetto Corsas folder is being located. Now I just need to find this folder on Content Manager. And there we go. When you use the change function, it's gonna pop up with a browser and you can just find the installation folder. Now, since we copied the login.vdf file, you can see it over here. Now, the client is going to bug out a bit, but we're gonna fix that soon. Now, we copied the VDF file, we made a soft link so it recognizes our username. I'm gonna type my name inside here. And now you have some plugins down here. I personally install 7-zip, I install neural network for tires, but I never use it. I just install it, doesn't take too much space. And now as you can see, it's glitching again, but that's fine. I'm gonna install this fmod player, and that's pretty much usually all the stuff I install. Now I'm gonna wait for it to install. It looks like it did install, it's just glitching a bit, but you can see the check marks, so that's fine. Alright, let's go OK. Now when Content Manager opens up, it's going to bug a lot, so we're going to go to Settings, and we're gonna go and search for Hardware, and it's going to show Disable Hardware Acceleration for UI. Click on that and restart. There we go. Now we disabled hardware acceleration for the launcher, and it's gonna work a lot better. Now, if you remember about the custom shaders patch we downloaded, we can just go to it, and there we go, lights patch 022, because I downloaded the newest version. I can just drag this zip file into Content Manager, and it's going to pop up here, lightpatch.2.2. I'm gonna click install. And there we go, custom shaders patch is installed. If you go to settings, you can see it's 022. Now what I usually do is I go to general settings and I disable extra reverb, because it kind of ruins the audio when I'm watching replays, so I really don't like to have that option on. And the other thing I turn on is neck effects, because it allows my player to follow the track and it's much more immersive. That's some basic configurations. Now we're gonna go off to Assetto Corsa config, we're gonna go to video, and I use single screen render mode. I'm gonna put it to full screen, 1080p 144Hz. I don't like to use anti-aliasing. I'm gonna leave this filtering on 8x. Roll details, I always put them to high. Shadow resolution is fine, smoke generation low. These are just my personal settings, you can configure it however you like. Reflection I leave default. So far I'm not gonna use post-processing, I usually use these in replays, or if I really want the game to look pretty. And this is pretty much all the settings I kinda change. If I go to view and UI, I increase field of view just slightly. And that's pretty much it, I don't mess around with configs too much. Now let's go to controls and see if I can set up my steering wheel. So we're gonna change input method to wheel, and let's test it out. Alright, it took me a while to connect it, so let's test it out. So steering. If I spin out my wheel, it seems to pick it up. Yep, all 900 degrees of steering is being picked up. That's good. I'm going to use 1.1 gamma because I want just slightly dead center. Now throttle, it's also being recognized pretty good. Brakes also seem to be working fine. Now my clutch is going to need some more configurations, because that's just how the steering wheel is. So I'm gonna have to put this to 51%. And I usually leave this at like 90, so I don't have to press it all the way in when I'm fast shifting and heel towing. Now let's check if my H shifter is also being recognized. So we have next gear on the steering wheel, previous gear, and let's test the H shifter. Okay, it seems to be working. I'm gonna configure this real quick. There we go, everything seems to be configured. Now we're gonna do a test run to see if the game works properly. So we're gonna go to drive, I'll do practice run, I'll start on Nordschleife. Let's do it in... Actually I need a manual car for this, I wanna test if the shifter works. Let's do like 370Z. I guess this one is a manual. As far as the settings go, I don't like to have anything on. I disable traction control. I'm gonna disable fuel consumption and mechanical damage. And I'm gonna do zero tire wear right now. Alright, let's see if the game works. I'm gonna press go and I'm gonna change it to game capture so I get better performance. I'll be right back. Now, I forgot to mention this. The first time you try to load up into a game, this is the error you're going to see. It's going to say you're missing some fonts. So just press yes. It's going to open up a browser and download the fonts for you. And in order to install these fonts, you need to extract them. Once they're extracted, you need to copy all 3 of these and put them in your game installation folder. Alright, I'm in the games folder. Now we need to go to content, we need to go to fonts, system, and paste those 3 fonts in here. That's it. Now let's start the game again. Alright, the game is loading up. Alright, there we go. I already booted up the game once to set up the render stats, pedal overlay and gears to see if everything works correctly. So let's see if shifting works, pedals work. Alright, steering wheel seems responsive. Shifting works. Tilting is doable. Alright, so pretty much we got the game up and running. Now we need to install the mods, so let's move on to the mods. Alright, so now we're gonna download some mods. I have a pretty huge mod list that I use, so I'm just gonna download one map and I'm going to download one car. So let's try Akina 2022. I'm gonna have to log in real quick. Alright, I logged in and started the download. Now we're just going to wait for this to finish. Alright, the map is downloaded. Now let's download a car. So for me personally, I'll just go with C80. Alright, now let that download and I'm gonna show you how to install the mods. Alright, we got both mods downloaded, so we're gonna extract both of them. Alright, extraction is done. We don't need the RAR files. So this is a map and this is a car. So I'm gonna open up Assetto Corsa folder. And once you're inside the Assetto Corsa folder, go to content. And then since we're installing a map, we're gonna go to tracks and just put this inside. And we have a car, we're gonna put it in a car folder. There we go, installation done. Now let's open up a game and test out the map. So content manager opened up. So let's go and search for C80, and as you can see the car is installed. Let's pick color, I'll keep blue, and we installed Mountain Akina. So there we go, 3 ways. We're gonna go downhill and let's see if it works. Alright, the game seems to be loading. And that was a pretty quick load for a hard drive, I must say. So alright, we're getting about 220 FPS on this map. Not bad, not horrible. So let's see if everything works as it should. The car picks up here. Okay, it turns on the blinkers automatically, but that's a custom shader patch function. I'll disable that later on. And so far, everything seems to be good. Yep, it works just as intended, and it's smooth. No stutters, no game breaking bugs. And that's pretty much it. Now, there is only one more thing we need to do to get everything set up and functioning, and that is Sol, which is weather effects. So let's go over to it and get it installed. Here we go. This is the website where you're gonna download the SOL. Now, if you have an account on Overtake, you can download it from the website. But there's also alternate links that you can use, like this one here. So it's up to you. I'm gonna generate links since I already opened it, and I'm gonna install this zip file. Alright, let's wait for it to download. Alright, Sol is downloaded, so let's install it. We need to install Sol manually. That's how it's supposed to be done. At least that's what the instructions say. So let's wait for this to extract. Alright, it's done. Now go to here and we need to copy these 4 folders into the game folder. Alright, I'm in the game folder. Let's paste them in. We're gonna apply this to all and write into. There we go, everything is replaced. Now let's open up the game again. Alright, the game loaded up. Let's go to settings. We're going to go to custom shaders patch, scroll down and find weather effects. Now, once you open this, you have weather style and it already picked up SOL. This is what we installed. We're gonna keep it at that. And one more thing, there was car instruments. It automatically used turn signals. Oh, it's for pits only. I mean, I don't need them actually. There we go. Alright, so weather, let's do. So I don't really use SOL too much, so I'm not sure what to look for. But I guess I just put controller to SOL and use live and see if it works. I'm not really sure how to check if it works. I'm gonna get into the game and see how it runs. Oh yeah, one more quick thing before we get into the game. We need to go to settings, Assetto Corsa and Python app settings. We need to enable the Sol config, custom weather, planner and weather app in order to get the weather control. Alright, so let's start the game now. Alright, the game is loading as it should. There we go. Now we did lose a bit of performance, but nothing too scary, that's expected. So let's see. Alright, it took me a bit to figure out what the settings are. So if we go to Sol weather, we can just press plus and it's going to move hours. And as you can see, now it's night. Oh, this is 6-hour intervals. So yeah, it seems to be working pretty good, I'd say. So let's try a test ride and see if anything is changed. I mean, everything seems to be working fine, so that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much it. You got the game to run, your content manager is working, SOL is working, custom shader patch is working. Now I'm gonna show you how to get PP filters and if you can play online. So I already have one PP filter in mind and it's called Sky. I'm gonna of course leave the link down in the description, so we're gonna download it. Once you get Sky downloaded, we're just going to use Content Manager to install it, so let's open up the game. Now, we're going to drag the downloaded file into Content Manager and install. There we go. Now if we go to Settings and Video, we can enable Post-Processing Effects and we can select Sky. Now there is multiple of them, you can change them in the game, so let's see how it looks. Alright, now we loaded into the game and I open up the post-process filters. So if we'll list, this is like the SOL default one. I downloaded C13 Aegis, but this one only works with Pure. It's not meant for custom shader patch. So if we go down to Sky, we got this one. And this looks overly bright to me. Sure, you can customize the exposure and everything. However, let's do the other one, Dream. This one straight up doesn't work. I assume it requires the Pure. And GT also is in the same problem, so I assume Sky is the only one we can use. And with zero exposure, I mean, it looks okay, but I kinda prefer to play without them, unless I'm recording. So that's it. Now let's test if multiplayer works. Alright, now we're going to try to look for an online match. So I'm gonna go to Kunos and I'll try to search for Nordschleife or Nürburgring. Alright, I think I found the server, so let's see which cars do we have in offer. I'll drive a GD86. I'll click join the game and I'll switch to game capture. Alright, the game loaded in. I'll remove the FPS overlay. I don't really need gearing overlay, just for a test. I'll keep the pedals to see if anything malfunctions. So let's see if we can race. Actually, now that I think about it, since I'm recording and this can be seen really well, I'll try to do one with gears. So let's see if we can do a run on Nordschleife. And we're officially entering the Nordschleife. And this is a very underpowered car. We're getting overtaken by two Porsches. But online is working indeed. I'm trying not to lose grip because it's a rear-wheel drive car. So I'm gonna play a bit more carefully since they have mechanical damage, tire damage and everything else. But yeah, as you can see, multiplayer is working just fine. No issues here. The Mazda crashed, I think. Looks like it. This car is very underpowered. But pretty much that's it, yeah. We set up the entire game, everything works as intended. The game is running pretty smooth, with custom shaders patch, multiplayer server of 32 players. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Let's monitor the frame rate and try not to get ourselves killed at the same time. 143 frames with bunch of players in the lobby, 32 cars loaded in. That's actually not bad. That's pretty good. Considering my PC is pretty budget. Oh, there's a guy behind me. He's flying, Jesus Christ. And he's gonna fuck up. Yeah, he fucked up too fast. So yeah, that's it. I think this is where we're gonna end the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully everything worked out for you. And hopefully see you in the next one.